Story 1. The Echoing Silence. Clara arrived at the tower just as the sun sank beneath the horizon. The decaying structure was covered in graffiti, some of it nonsensical, some of it ominously clear. Don't listen. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness, as though the world had paused around her. She hesitated at the entrance, peering into the yawning darkness. A static-filled hum emanated from deep within, faint but persistent. Clara switched on her flashlight and stepped inside. The interior was a labyrinth of rusted stairs and broken equipment. The air smelled of mildew and something metallic. As Clara ascended, she began to hear whispers, at first faint, like leaves rustling, then sharper, forming words. "Clara, you can save her!" She froze. The voice was unmistakably Lily's. "Lily?" Clara called, her voice trembling. "Is that you?" The whispers stopped, replaced by a deafening silence. Then, a sudden surge of static crackled through the tower, and the voice returned. Clearer now. "Upstairs! Hurry!" Clara's heart raced as she climbed higher. The flashlight flickered, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Each step felt heavier, as though unseen hands were trying to pull her back. When she reached the observation deck, the whispers ceased entirely. The room was empty except for an old radio console in the center, its dials glowing faintly. As she approached, the static shifted, forming words again. "You can bring her back," it said. Lily's voice layered with something deeper, darker. Clara's hands trembled as she adjusted the dials, desperate to understand. The console seemed to react, showing distorted images on a cracked screen, moments from her past. Lily's laughter, their childhood games, and the day she disappeared. "One sacrifice," the voice intoned. "One life for another." Clara staggered back, her mind reeling. She had read stories of such bargains, but this was different. The voice wasn't just offering, it was commanding. "I don't understand," she stammered. The shadows in the room shifted, coalescing into a shape, a figure that resembled Lily, but her eyes were hollow, her smile too wide. "Bring someone here," the figure said, its voice echoing like 1,000 overlapping screams. "Feed the tower and I'll return." Clara's resolve wavered. Could she do it? Could she condemn another to save her sister? The descent. Clara left the tower that night, her thoughts a whirlwind of guilt and desperation. Days turned into weeks as she wrestled with her conscience. The voice stayed with her, haunting her dreams, growing louder each day. Her editor noticed the change in her demeanor. "You look terrible," he remarked one morning. "Take some time off." But Clara couldn't rest. She began following strangers, sizing them up, wondering who would miss them. The thought horrified her, but Lily's face haunted her more. One evening, Clara met Nathan, a drifter with no family and no ties. He struck up a conversation with her at a diner, and she saw her chance. Over the next few days, she gained his trust, weaving a story about a supernatural legend that could make them famous. "You really think there's something in that tower?" Nathan asked, intrigued. "I know there is," Clara replied, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. They returned to the tower together. Nathan brought a camera, joking about ghost hunting. Clara's heart sank with each step they took. When they reached the observation deck, the static returned, louder this time, almost jubilant. Nathan froze, his expression shifting to fear. "Clara, what is this?" he asked, backing away. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. The shadows surged, engulfing Nathan as he screamed. Clara turned away, unable to watch. When the noise stopped, she dared to look. Nathan was gone. The console glowed brighter, and a familiar figure emerged. Lily, as she had been, alive and whole. "You did it," Lily said, smiling. Clara ran to her, embracing her tightly. But something was wrong. Lily felt cold, and her smile never reached her eyes. "Let's go," Clara said, pulling her toward the stairs. Lily hesitated, her gaze shifting to the console. "I can't leave," she said. Clara's blood ran cold. What do you mean? I'm part of it now, Lily replied, her voice echoing unnaturally. You brought me back, but I'll always belong to the tower. Before Clara could respond, the shadows surged again, and Lily vanished. The moral Clara returned to the town, broken and hollow. She had saved her sister only to lose her again. The echoes followed her, reminding her of the price she had paid. The story spread, and the tower became infamous. More people ventured inside, drawn by promises of their own desires. Few returned, and those who did were never the same. The moral of the story is clear. Some mysteries are better left unsolved, and some desires come at a price too steep to bear. In the end, the echo doesn't just take, it changes you, leaving only silence where your soul once was.